Welcome back to Link to the Past, everybody. We are very close to being done with the game. I want to say this is going to be the penultimate episode, but I don't want to be wrong. There could be one more part after. There could be an additional part. I don't think there will be though. I'm not positive of that. I don't remember, if I'm being honest. All right, not remember. I'm not confident. Not 100% confident, but I think this might be the second to last part of our playthrough of Link to the Past. And you know, I love this game, and that's, you know, the best games. I don't know if anyone else gets this. I think I've mentioned this in other playthroughs. I use that, by the way, to get to T-Rock. One of the things that, and this is also another time where you can get a couple chests if you didn't get them in this area. When you're playing a game like this, right? There is a way of doing that, and I don't remember how, and I just blanked. But you can do it that way. I just screwed it up. But when you finish a game that you absolutely love, I felt this with Super Metroid a lot here on the last playthrough. It's a bittersweet feeling because you don't want it to end, because you're enjoying yourself. You like playing the game, and you know it's over. I mean, yeah, you can go back to it, but you know, it's always a little bit less. Although randomizer's a little bit different. But it is a bittersweet feeling because you don't want the journey to end. Because ultimately, what do we love about playing a game or ventures or anything in life? It's often the journey that is the most exhilarating, is what makes it the most fun. Yes, beating the game or the end is also great, but there is something about the journey, right? And you know, you hear that a lot. It's not the end goal. It's the journey that makes it. And you know, that's kind of how I feel about great games, especially. And yeah, that's my soliloquy. Here, go backwards, otherwise I will attempt to shoot you. So here, this is the other aspect of Cadence of Mario. It actually, on these little platforms here, it creates a little, or it creates a platform on this track, and that is very useful. Now you have a bit of a small puzzle. The best bet of here is just taking some damage. And coming up here, I would recommend a cape here, because those guys are not the easiest to get around. And you got your map, so we already got our map and our compass, and a small key. Now, I'll just kind of reset. We'll reset here and redo. But yeah, but what I was saying. Yeah, the journey of this game's fun, and any great game is amazing, and especially games that you spend some time with. Obviously, this, you know, what is this ultimately going to be? You know, 3-hour-ish adventure. So nothing too crazy, you know. It's a 30-40 hour adventure game. Obviously, you know, once you know what you're doing in this game, you know, you're talking. These chain chomps are assholes. I just want. Get that out there now. Those guys hit hard. But anyway, like I was saying, and you know, journey in a game like this, you always, especially when you know the end's coming. If you don't know the end's coming, although you probably have a good inkling the end's coming, you know, it's a bittersweet feeling. It's, man, you know the end's coming, and damn, you know, and I guess that's what I mean by bittersweet. It's like you're. In one way, you're sad it's over, but you're happy you did it. You know, it is really the case of don't be sad it's over, be happy that's happened. And that's genuinely true. This area sucks. There's another chest in here which you really don't have to grab, but those guys are assholes. Those eyes, by the way, you noticed earlier I said you had to go backwards. If you're looking at them, they'll shoot at you. If you're not looking at them, they won't. But you had to come here to get your big key. Big key's important. And if you need hearts, you can always tag a few of those guys and get your fairies. Yeah, this is the last last of the 10 main dungeons before we get to the final dungeon, Ganon's Tower. And this was a big one. This was a fairly big one, you know. Nothing too crazy, I wouldn't call it nuts. If you do this right, you can 2 sword spins is all it takes, or even 1. It's all it takes to kill. If you don't do it right, you're gonna have to kill each one of those guys individually, which is a bit annoying. So here, so these eyes, some eyes do shoot just all the time. It doesn't matter if you're looking at them or not. But you also notice that there's some Mario-inspired enemies in this dungeon. The chain chomps, the cactus-looking, the pokies-looking guys. But this is Mimic Cave. Why is it called Mimic Cave? Well, these guys mimic you. We've seen these guys before. And they're called mimics. These are green mimics, so you don't have to hit them with arrows if you don't want to. And our final heart piece. Now we just got 1 heart container to grab after the final boss of Turtle Rock, and we will be at full possible health. 20 hearts. Hell yeah. But now we get the mirror shield. There is a shield I did not end up grabbing, which was a fire shield, which at one of those fairies you can throw in to get the fire shield. That does deflect those little fireballs, which is always good. But now the mirror shield does that, and it deflects something that we will see later on. It'll be really, really useful. But we'll get to that. Here you can just bonk on this. Take some invulnerability frames, grab everything now. Here I will use my boomerang, make it easy. I think I'm gonna need this next. Now we have a bit of a maze, a dark maze. If you don't know the route, this maze will be tricky for you. But you need to come here and hit this, otherwise the door will not open that you need. What I recommend here is grabbing your hook shot out, and as these fireballs are coming at you, shoot it. Invincibility frames. And now you're good. This is the path. If you don't know the path and you don't have a guide, it's gonna take you a bit to figure that out. But now we're coming to what's affectionately known as Laser Bridge. Now I have the mirror shield, so I don't necessarily have to do this. But right here is actually a exit out of the dungeon. And if you mirror, it's actually a fairy cave where you can get some fairies if you need it. But now if you would die, you would start over here, or if you mirror. And I say that because these guys, those, if you don't have the mirror shield, can be assholes. But just hold your shield at them, and you will absorb it with no issues whatsoever. This laser bridge, often in randomizer, will often have the final. Will have a very important item. Typically, a lot of times, your final item that you need to beat the game, and that's required. But here, obviously, it just has some. Has a key that you do need, so you do have to do it, and then some random other stuff. But now, folks, we are very close to Trinex, as he's called. You will understand why he's called Trinex in a minute. And you will need the only time in the game that the ice rod is useful. Otherwise, the ice rod is just, to be frank, not useful. You should come in here with at least 1 blue potion. Especially if you don't have half magic, because Trinex is tricky on your first couple times. He can be a bit of an asshole, so I always go for, so you have a red head, a green head, and a blue head. You can't hit the green head right now, but you can hit the red and the blue. You have to hit the heads with the opposite rod that their color is. So the blue you hit with the fire rod, red you hit with the ice rod. Red is a lot harder to hit because of the ice rod's this kind of general shittery. And that's why I recommend the middle head will, as you can see, will attack you in that form. But once the colored heads are done, he will come out. You can actually hit him here. You don't have his weak spot's going to be his middle, but you can get a cheap shot there before he comes out of his little shell. Hit him 3 times with your butter sword. I didn't have to. You don't get any extra damage with the buttered / gold sword. And you won't get any extra damage with the spin. It just does more area damage. It'll clear more area around you. It's a little bit safer, but you don't necessarily need. But you don't get any additional damage like you would with the tempered sword or the master sword. So you don't necessarily have to hit him with it, is what I'm trying to say. And now we save Zelda. Yes, he is. Is this gonna be the finale? Nah, this ain't gonna be the finale. Debating if I want to end the part early, so we do GT all by itself, or we go into GT. Because we have credits as well. But we have saved all 7 maidens. We have defeated all the bosses that we can at the moment. It's time to take the fight to Ganon himself, to GT, and this is why obviously it's numbered last, and why you should always come to T-Rock last, whether you're playing randomizer or not. If you can do it randomized, sometimes you have to go to it earlier because that's the seed you have. But in the regular game, because right over here is the Ganon Tower, we've already seen it once. Welcome to Ganon's Tower. You need these 7 crystals to break the barrier, otherwise you can't get in. So don't even try. As we head into the biggest dungeon of the game, GT. Welcome to Ganon's Tower, everybody. You can go left, you can go right first. It's up to you. I actually don't quite remember where the big key is in this dungeon, if I'm being completely honest with you. I don't remember which one's actually the big key one, but we're getting as many chests as we can anyway. So this dungeon is very puzzly. It will utilize a lot of the skills you have learned. Yeah, it's a dungeon. It's obviously the last dungeon. It's the final dungeon of the game. And you do have to kill those guys to open the door back up, or you can, if you don't want to if you don't kill these assholes, you can always just mirror out. I don't necessarily recommend. No, that was unfortunate. That's what I wanted to do. But yeah, so this is GT. We won't complete it all here, so this is definitely the penultimate. And there is the map. Here you can set a bomb, or you can start using your Cancer Maria. Either one works, but you're gonna have to do it properly. Like so. I wanted to show that off. Here, you want to go to the upper path. No, you do not. You want to go to the bottom path. That has the key. My mistake. And there we go. Using invincibility frames wisely. Bouncing over this asshole. And... oh, I was not. This one you just push. Oh, shit. Ugh! I deserve that. I panicked. You need your hook shot. That was bad. Now we have a little bit of a maze, but it's not really a maze. But now we're going to a room that's known as Rando Room. Why is it Rando Room? Well, to put simply, there is 4 chests in here. But these 4 chests are, to be frank, useless. And you will see why. Bombs, we don't really need them. More bombs, we don't really need them. Arrows, we don't need. And arrows, we don't need. So if you absolutely need them, they're there. But they are, but in randomizer, you obviously come in here to check things because you're looking for something probably. Maybe you're not looking for something, then you're just going through GT super quickly. Stay to the bottom here. And if you're good, well, I fucked up. If you're good, you can actually bonk and avoid this little transition. But I'm not good, so. But we are gonna... I think now is a great time to call it a part as we join us in the finale as we make our way through the rest of GT. And Ganon himself. Until then, everybody. Deuces.